So majorly what all we will cover in this will be the Power BI data modeling. Then how do we design the data model? What all functionality we have? What are the best practices what we should follow as per Microsoft best practices standard? And what all are the cardinalities in the data model? And how do we define the relationship, like many to many, one to many, different types of cross filtering, cardinality, the primary key, foreign key, dimensions fact. These are some of the things which we will cover in data model. Then we have something called as data transformation. In data transformation, we have a lot of things. How do you kind of transform your data? What all options do we have? How do you deal with the missing values? How do you replace the strings? What all strings operations are there? What all text functions are there? Then what all logical operations which you can perform in your transform data? How do we join, how do we join two sheets? How do we append two sheets? Apart from that, what all different data type sources we have in Power BI? What all can we connect to create a impactful dashboard and visualization? Then we have something called as DAX, which is a data analysis expression which we use in Power BI to make it understand, like if you're trying to write any operation, how can you ask Power BI to do, let's say, multiplication? How can you do it using a DAX formula query language? So yeah, so we will learn DAX. Then detail about DAX, because we have quite a lot of DAX to cover. Like we have text functions, we have logical functions, we have the date and calendar functions, then we have iterator functions. So there are different types of DAX. Then after DAX, we do have something called as visualization. So no matter how much efforts you're putting in creating your, your data, how well you're shaping up your data, but if you're not creating impactful dashboards, then it does not make any sense to create those, do all those transformations. So creating the impactful dashboards by using the right chart and right visualization tool, that is something which we will cover. And we do have in Power BI some of the options of bookmarking plus few of the visuals which represent the advanced analytics. So we will be covering those as well. So these are the main three things which we have in Power BI. One is your data model, then your data transformation, and then your data visualization. Apart from this, there is this Power BI services and Power BI desktop. We will cover brief history of why, what a visualization tool does, and how Power BI started and all. And how can we will also cover the row level security in Power BI, so that if you want to kind of hide some of the visuals from your user, you can by using the row level security. And how can we create the apps and integrate our dashboards, what we have created in our Power BI services, defining the roles, the contributor roles or the admin role, member role in Power BI workspace. So those things we'll be covering. And yeah, I think by end of this training, you should be able to create the impactful dashboard for your users. So that is the agenda of this training. Now, I think I went a little fast. So if you have any questions, you can just shoot your questions. All right. I will take it as a no. I think there are no questions. So we will be covering this training in 40 days, 40 classes, approximately 1 hour each day. And in that we will be covering kind of each topic in one day. I'll just quickly present my screen so you will have a better understanding of what I'm trying to say. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Sure. So this is a kind of a syllabus which you would have got from the SSIT Software Online Training. And in this, there is like high level of topic description each day, what all we will cover. And there are a number of things which we will be covering, and which I just briefed you about. So mainly it will be these kind of 3 data tabs, which is like a Power BI desktop, which is a data modeling tab, the data transformation tab, and the data visualization tab. So if you get hands-on practice in these 3 tabs, you know how to write a DAX, you know how to create a data model, and you know how to kind of create the visuals, then the rest of the things will be pretty much easy for you. We will understand the different data type and the sources, what all we can create, like from all we can get the data in Power BI. We have n number of sources, like we have SQL, then we have the PDF files, we do have Excel files, we have CSV files. So using connecting the data from different data sources, then how do we handle the Power BI services? How do we transform the data using the Power BI query, Power Query Editor window, which is the Transform Data tab. So yeah, these are the high level of topics which we will be covering during our training. In this training, we will also be taking some of the quizzes so that we'll make sure that you guys are understanding whatever is happening. And I will also give you some dashboards and the data to be prepared. So I will be sharing some of the CSV files with you and asking you to work on the data model and the data transformation and data visualization. Yeah, so there are different techniques how we can transform our data. Like I just said that how do you look up from different sheets? How do you kind of do the joining in your sheet? And there are a number of transformation like transpose column, pivot column. So we will be covering all this. And we will be understanding the data model, the relationships. We'll be using the Power BI best practices. How should we design our data model so that our Power BI dashboard, what we are creating, is very fast and it's not kind of providing delay in loading any of the report. What are the relationship? How do we create relationship? We'll understand what is the cardinality, which is many to many, one to many. What is DAX? We will cover DAX. How do we write DAX? What all different DAX we have, like types of operators, arithmetic operator, comparison operator. So even in the DAX category, we do have a lot of other functions like date and time functions, logical functions, text functions, which you mostly deal with the strings, and maths and statisticals functions. What all different types of filters we have in in the DAX query language. DAX is called as data analysis expressions. So this is a Power BI language, and Power BI understands this DAX expressions. So that is why it is called it as a DAX query language. Then we will deal with these functions, which are different time and date functions, to create your YTD, MTD views. So in a dashboard, it is very much required to create, year-to-date performance. How is your KPI performing till now from, let's say, from last year? So all those measures we will be creating. We have different types of measures. Like a measure is something which you write on Power BI. So what is the difference between a measure, a calculated column? We'll be covering all those theoretical aspects as well. Then these all are the functions. We have different functions in Power BI. How can we handle the logical functions? What is the difference between if error? What is the difference between and not? We will be using these measures to create a hands-on practice and a dashboard. Then these are some of the aggregations functions. What is the difference between sum and a SumX? So if you see it kind of looks same, but there are different cases when you use it, and on what all cases you should be using it. I'll be giving you a hands-on experience on that. Then again, what all functions we have related to the data table and the generate series or a group by. These are different functions of DAX still, which will consume a lot of time. Then once the DAX is over, then it comes to the Power BI desktop. So I will be helping you installing the Power BI desktop and what all different tabs we have in Power BI desktop. And under those tabs, there are different ribbons. So in those ribbons, what individually each function does, I will be giving you a brief description about that. And then we have different kinds of conditional formatting. How can you format your visual, what you are creating, and how can you add colors to it? Those all options we will be covering. Then we have these all options comes under a ribbon, which we have in the data visualization tab, and we'll be covering all sync slicers and all. How do you edit interaction between one or two visuals? Then we have different types of chart, which chart we should be using when. There are different types of bar chart, pie chart, and tree map. So we will be seeing each of the scenario, when should we use which chart and what is the difference between each chart. And if you have a categorical data or numerical categorical data and numerical data, so which chart you should go for. There are few of the best practices which you should be following. Like if your data is not out of 100%, then there is no point of using the pie chart. So pie chart is something you use when your data is 100% of something. And then it provides you the different bifurcation of your data. Let's say I have 100% category of my bikes sold, but under my bike sold, there are, different bikes like Hero or Honda or Duke, different categories are there of bikes. So in that case, I can use pie chart. So these are some of the examples of which chart we should be using when. Then there are some of the custom visuals in Power BI, which you can take, which you can download from the custom visuals. I'll be telling you how to do it. Then we'll be talking about the different types of filters, what we have, the page level filter, report level filter, and visual level filter. How can we see top 10 data or bottom 10 data of any of the business KPI? Then we have different types of matrix and tables, and under matrix and table we have something called as drill down, drill up. How do we create the hierarchies, and how this all is to this all will be useful for you to create an impactful dashboard. And what all KPIs we have. For KPIs, what all chart can be used. There are different types of chart. Then I'll give you a brief about Power BI services. So there are two things. One is Power BI desktop. The other one is Power BI services. So what all different options you have in Power BI services and what options you have in Power BI desktop. And I'll be also giving you a brief about how do we connect reports by using a data set, and how do we see that lineage with across multiple reports and the data sets. There are different formatting options which we have in Power BI. So I'll be giving you a brief about it. When do we use Power BI gateways? And when do we not need to use Power BI gateways? I will, and how to set up a gateway connection, something I'll give you a brief about it, and we will practice it as well. So whatever topics you see on my screen, we will be doing the practical example of it. And there are different types of, like I said, there are different types of refresh what you can enable in Power BI. There is a event refresh, event-based refresh, and there is a time-based refresh. I will tell you the details about it and when should you go for what in a real-time scenario. Then yeah, I think that's pretty much about the course structure and content. So we will be covering all this in in next 40 days, and 1 hour each day is something which we will be taking the class on. That's about the training course and the introduction. If you guys have any questions for me, just let me know.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, how do you pronounce your name?
My name is 𝐿𝐴𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐿𝐴𝐬𝐿𝐴𝐬𝐬𝐿𝐴. Yeah.
Okay.
Godwin 𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐿𝐴. Yeah. I wanted to
Godwin.
ask. Yeah, I wanted to ask. When are we starting? You know, this is a demo. So when are we getting started?
We shall be starting the class from tomorrow.
Oh, okay. And what about the time? Is it going to be the time as this, or we have a different time?
Time will be more or less same, yes. But we can discuss if you guys have any other time preferences.
Oh, okay. For me, yeah, for me, I think this time it will be best for me.
Yeah, for me, is it possible for morning?
Okay. Morning, what time, Venkat?
Yeah, 9 to from 9 o'clock I am free. 9 to 12 I am free.
From 9.
Yeah.
Are you talking about IST?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So that is something I think we need to figure out because I think Godwin, he is in US time zone. So we need to, yeah, we need to see a time which matches both of us. I think that we can discuss with Satish and get back.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. From 9 to 1 o'clock also is time for me. 9 to 1.
Sure.
Because from afternoon I want to join.
Sure, I understand. No problem. We can discuss about the timings.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, okay. Fine.
Okay. I would also want to know your background. So I will just give you a quick introduction about myself. So I'm Jyotsna. I have almost 8 years of experience working in different Microsoft technologies. I have worked with different industries like e-commerce industries, healthcare industries, and I majorly work on SQL, Power BI, Azure, and Python. So those are my core competency areas. And so on a day-to-day basis, I do handle a lot of Power BI dashboards. So I know what type of problem comes and how to handle those type of problems. And I will be also giving you some of the quick tips, what you can do in order to, just create good dashboard and kind of do a quick data analysis. And also whatever you do, the data analysis is something which is always required because you're dealing with the data. So yes, that's pretty much about me. Maybe if you guys don't mind, if you can quickly tell me a little bit about your background, so that will help me in order to kind of structure my classes. I will be knowing that from how from where I should be starting, or how much deep I should cover a topic.
Okay, like I said, my name is 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐿. I'm a student offering accounting, and I'm much interested in data analysis. That's why I'm here.
Great. So if I understood it correctly, you don't have any experience in any of the IT
Yes.
work. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Understood.
Yeah, myself Venkatramana, having 3 years of experience in the VBA and Excel.
Okay. Understood. So this will be pretty much easy for you, Venkat, because you have worked with in Excel and macros. So in
Yes.
Power BI, we have a lot of functionality and a lot of functions, which is kind of same. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Understood. Thank you so much for giving me a brief introduction about yourself. That's all I have for today. About the timing, I guess, let me reach out to Satish, and then maybe he can communicate it to you about the timings.
Okay.
Do you guys have any other question for me?
No, I think I'm okay. I'm okay now.
Yeah. Okay. Just for the timing only, I want in the morning session first half, if possible.
Okay.
That's it.
No
Yeah.
problem. We
Okay.
can discuss it.
Let me ask this. What are the main difference, between the Power BI and the structured query language?
Structured query language is a SQL, which we call this as a short form. So SQL is it kinds of help you to store your data in a particular warehouse, but you cannot visualize your data with SQL. It will just help you store your data in a columnar structure. Columnar structure is a column and a row wise format. So if I have an employee information, I can, in my Excel, which has rows and columns, I can just dump it in SQL. Okay. But I can't create the chart out of it. So Power BI gives you the flexibility to create the visualization and the chart out of it. So like I mentioned, if you have data, but you're not showing it to the audience, and if you're just showing it in a row and column format, your audience may not gauge anything out of that. It will not give you any insight. But if you quickly create a bar chart out of it, the bar chart will be more impactful, and it will give your users a quick summary about how your business is trending, what is happening in your business. So visualization creates it's a very important step in field of data analysis. If you're presenting your data well, half of your work is done. If you have data but you're not presenting it, does not make any sense. So SQL, which you said structured query language, helps you to store your data. Power BI helps you to view your data. to create the dashboards out of it.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
No problem. Yeah. So we will see how do we connect to SQL data source in the backend. I will tell you some of the practices scenarios as well, which you can practice by your own in SQL, because that is again one of the very, very important skill which you should learn in the data field.
Okay.
All right. Nice talking to you, Godwin. Nice talking to you, Venkat. Thank you so much for your time. Looking forward for the next sessions.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.